Hey everyone, it's Aiden. I'm just making a video to kind of go along with the post I made about my top 10 favorite games of all time. I'm probably not going to go into as much detail in this video as I am in the post. This is just kind of me just kind of rambling about the games I like. Like, I'm not writing off anything, script or anything. Just saying what's coming off the top of my head. So first off is the Mass Effect trilogy, and like I said in the post, I'm kind of cheating by including all three, but I just can't think of one way I would pick one above the other. They're all just so essential to like what is the bigger picture of this game. Like the series was created with these three games in mind, and so I don't know, I just feel weird about picking one over the other. In all honesty, these are probably my favorite games of all time. I think the big part of it has to do with the world building that BioWare did. Something that BioWare excels at is world building. It just creates a world that you feel a part of and you want to be a part of, and it has so much already established backstory and history that you don't need to find out. You can go throughout the entire game without reading any entry in the codex, but it just, if you choose to do so, it just adds so many more layers to this world. I just got so connected to this story and the characters, like, that I felt so emotional, like, by the time it was over. And yes, I didn't hate the ending as much as other people did. I was definitely disappointed in it, but overall it was such an amazing gaming experience, and my first playthrough is something I'll never forget. They're not perfect games by any means. Like, the first one is pretty rough, like it's pretty dated, but I'm playing through it right now, and I love the story so much. It doesn't matter. Unless something comes out like that's mind-blowing amazing, which is totally possible. They are my favorite games of all time. Next up is Thomas Was Alone, which is an indie title. Not really a small indie title. It was pretty big, pretty successful. It is just it's a puzzle platformer, like a really smart puzzle platformer in my opinion. All the characters that you play as, like, they're each unique and distinct. Like, they each have their own distinct shapes, so they can't go in all the same spaces. They each have their own abilities, which is really, like, creates some interesting solutions to the puzzles. But what really got to me in this game was the story. And the story is told in a kind of unconventional way. There's no actual voice acting or dialogue. It's all told by a single narrator. Like, he narrates the entire game. The entire story is told through him. But what's amazing about it is that he adds so much personality to the characters. Like, he gives each character a distinct personality, and he adds humor and emotion, and you just feel so emotionally connected to it. And you know what is essentially a game about you're playing as squares, which you're not really playing as squares, but I'm not going to go into that right now. The fact that you get connected to these squares is just amazing, and the soundtrack just adds so much more feeling to it that it's another unforgettable gaming experience for me. And I probably should note that for me, when I made this list, I realized I'm definitely someone who connects more with emotion and memories during a game. Gameplay and mechanics are huge important factors to me. Like, these are all games that are pretty, like, really good mechanic-wise, and like they're fun to play, but it's just the emotion is what I connect to. Next is Pokemon HeartGold and SoulSilver. SoulSilver specifically is the one that I played. Pokemon is such an important series for me. It's the first series I ever really connected to. Like, Pokemon Emerald was the first one I ever really grabbed me and like was like, oh, I really like video games. And I'd probably because it's like your story specifically, like you are the main character. But why these two in particular, I was really having a difficult time thinking about which one I wanted to put on this list, and I eventually decided on these two because I realized they probably are my favorite, and I think a big part of it has to do with, again, with like the memories and connecting, the walking Pokemon. Like, the fact that you can have one of your 6 Pokemon in your party walk with you and follow you the entire journey, it just adds another element to this game. Like, it just feels like you always have this constant companion with you and this friend. And I know you're never truly alone in any of the Pokemon games, but it's just the fact that you always see it and you can interact with it, and it just, it's like you really do have a friend. You go on a deeper level with your Pokemon, and then let alone the fact that there's so much to do in this game. Like, yes, there's the main campaign, and yeah, you can go to Kanto, which that's not really a spoiler. I hope not, because the game technically came out like, oh my god, like a while ago. I can't remember. It's not 20, I know, but and there's the Battle Frontier, which I'm kind of meh on, but the fact that there's so much to do, like, as far as I know, it may have the most to do, like, in a Pokemon game. Like, the Delta episode, like, adds something to it, but yeah, they're my favorite Pokemon games. Stop barking. Stop barking. Sorry, my dog. Next up is Paper Mario, the original Paper Mario, and this is one of those games that I just associate with a specific time period in my life. It's the summer after I got out of 8th grade. I was going into high school. I just recently had surgery on my arm, I wasn't able to do a whole lot, and I was just like going through the Wii Shop channel. I remember that. And I saw this, and I heard of Paper Mario, and I saw it, and I was like, I'll get it. And so, that game is just magic to me. I don't know what it is. It's probably a combination of all different things, like the look of that game. When it comes to art direction versus graphics, like, while graphics are important, I'm a huge fan of art direction more. So if a game can nail an art direction, that just automatically just makes me, I'll automatically gravitate towards that. So the art direction of Paper Mario just nails it. The gameplay is great. Like, I love the battle system, like the reflex-based game active battle system, where you can if you time your button press right, you can do extra damage. That's amazing. Yeah, it was in Super Mario RPG first, but I just feel like this just expanded upon it. And I also love, like, how smart the overworld is. Like, having all your partners have certain abilities to use within the overworld, I thought was genius. And probably, in all honesty, the one for the GameCube, the Thousand Year Door, is probably a superior game in all ways, but I actually have only played that game once in my entire life, which is because I decided to sell all my GameCube stuff but that's a whole different story. So, maybe if I played that as much as I had the original Paper Mario, that one would be on my list instead. Uncharted 2. Naughty Dog is a special studio. All of their games have there's something magic about them. And the Uncharted 2, it nails everything it tries to accomplish. Sorry about that, my dog is kind of barking. But, I like the first Uncharted. Like, I played it a few years after it came out. Like, I didn't get my PS3 till, like, 2011. Yeah, when Uncharted 3 came out. But it was the first game I ever played, and so the first game I ever played was the Uncharted Trilogy. And I liked it, and then, like, probably more than most in hindsight, but, Uncharted 2, there's something special about that game. And I love how it just expands on everything established in the first one. Like, There's more locations, like you're globe-trotting, and that's what I love. Like about Indiana Jones, like in those adventure games, I want to see all different locations, and so that the story is great. The characters they nail. Like they make great use of every character in that series. Like I'm really upset with how Chloe was handled in 3. Like not just she was handled bad, but like I just wish she was used more because she is such a fantastic character. And the sequence in Tibet, when it just like there's no dialogue and it's incredible. Final Fantasy IX is obviously, since it's on my list, my favorite Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy is one of my favorite gaming series. I really thought about it. I was like, which one is my favorite? And I narrowed it down to a top 3, which is 10, 6, and 9. And yes, I like 7. It's probably like 5th, but that's not here nor there. But 9 is just, I feel like why I like it so much is that it has so much heart. And I am a generally positive person, so I tend to gravitate toward games that are more like that have more heart and positivity to them. Like, not that I don't have anything against dark games, like, but I don't know, there's something about Zidane, how he's such a go-getter and such a like enthusiastic character, and how each character like you grow to love. Like they're all so diverse, like species wise, class wise. That's another thing I love. I personally, it's just personal preference, I like when characters have defined roles and classes. Don't ask me why, I don't know, because I do love the materia system from 7 and the sphere grid from 10. I do like making the characters unique, like adding their own abilities, but there's something special to me about a character just having a role within a party, and you like strategizing around those roles. And that game's just great. And yeah, the graphics aren't great nowadays, but like I said, I don't really care that much about graphics. I do, but like it doesn't make or break the game for me. Kingdom Hearts. This game was the reason I wanted to get a PS2. I was, and still am, a huge Disney fan. And so when I was watching TV and I saw this commercial about a game with all these Disney characters, I'm like, I need to get this system for this game right now. And oh my god, what a game it is. There's just something so mad and special to me about going to all these Disney World and fighting with all these Disney characters. Like, oh, I'm with Ariel in this world, and with Jack Skellington, and yeah, Donald and Goofy. It's not the deepest RPG complex, but it's still great. And the story is just so heartfelt and so contained. Like, I still love Kingdom Hearts, but the story has gotten so convoluted, and I don't even know what's going on with half the plot threads. But the story, it just like it has a beginning, middle, and end, and it does leave like it open for the sequels, but it also doesn't like end on a cliffhanger. You're not left questioning like, what did I just watch? What just happened? And the music. It's my favorite gaming soundtrack of all time, which is saying a lot because especially like the games on this list, like they have amazing soundtracks, but Kingdom Hearts, it's one of the first games I ever played, and it's one of my favorites. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. I'm a huge Star Wars fan too. So the fact that I got to play my own Star Wars adventure was awesome. Once again, BioWare nailed the world building, which it's not their own world, obviously, but they really made the world their own within a pre-existing world, which probably has a lot to do with the time period it's set in. Like, it takes place like I don't know, thousands of years before the films. And so it's truly like unlike anything in Star Wars we've seen. Um, like there's brand new worlds, all new characters. Um, the gameplay, it's a very old school RPG. Not that it's dated, but it's just old school. Like it's similar to Dragon Age Origins, where like you can plan your attacks beforehand and then watch it play out. And yeah, the twist, that was pretty memorable when it happened. But I'm not someone who really got into the EU of Star Wars, but this was really the only thing, and there's no reason specific. It just never did. But so when Disney said like everything was not canon anymore, like it didn't really bother me that much. But I still consider this part of the canon because it doesn't interfere with anything in the films. It's so far away. Plus, like I have this whole thing where I think they're gonna bring it back into the canon, but that's a whole nother conversation. You know, this, like I said, it's just a great world that the BioWare created its own stamp in a world that's existed for one of the most iconic universes, and BioWare managed to make it its own. Great gameplay. I mean, who doesn't love playing as a Jedi? Knights of the Old Republic, one of the best Star Wars stories in my opinion. The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past is... I know I've said it before, but of all the games on this list, this one is the most magical. There's something special about this game, like... I don't even know what it is about it. Like, I was born after this game came out. This game is older than me. But the first time I played it, I was in awe. I don't know why. Well, I mean, I know why, but it's funny because, like, I wasn't old enough to play Ocarina of Time either when it came out, so when I first played it, I was already used to all, like, 3D graphics and big open worlds. So that didn't wow me as much, but something about Zelda got me. And I'm a huge sucker for 16-bit art. Like, it's probably not my favorite, but, like, I prefer it to 8-bit. Just going through Hyrule Field, exploring. That's what I love about Zelda, like, exploring and, like, discovering, and I really love the story. And it's just... going to the Dark World for the first time was so memorable. I know I'm not saying much about this game, but, like, I'm just, like, rambling off. Like, there's so much I could say about this game. I actually kind of want to play it again. I think I'm gonna play it soon. And finally, we've got Yoshi's Island. My cousins had a Super NES that was at my grandma's house that, like, all of our cousins used to play. And this was one of the games on there. And so I was a little kid when I first played it. And it grabbed me as soon as I played it. And I loved it. And, like, going back to play it, like, when I was older, is when I really learned to actually appreciate the game as a masterpiece. First off, the look. Like I said, art direction. Art direction in that game is fantastic. Like, the storybook look, I love. And the 16-bit graphics. That this game really, like, pushed a lot of, like, the boundaries of technology at the time. Like, Touch Fuzzy Get Dizzy is, like, that's a fantastic, memorable level. Like, when I played it as a kid, I was like, whoa. That's awesome. And the gameplay is great. Like, it's like the normal Mario platforming gameplay, which is fantastic on its own. Like, Mario is the top caliber of platforming. And then you add so many more layers to it, like the egg throwing and ground pounds, which have, like, become, like, a mainstay in Mario games. And the fact that, like, and yes, Baby Mario's cries, even then, they're, like, ingrained in my head. I will not forget that, but all around that game is just, like, it's one of those games I just go back to play every so often, and it just makes me happy every time I play it. So, those are my top 10 games. And there's so many more games that I could have put on here, I just didn't have room. Like, Journey, The Last of Us, The Walking Dead, Super Mario Galaxy. Oh my god, like, so many other games. But these are just my top 10 games. If you want to read my blog, it definitely goes into more detail about why I love these games. It's just me rambling about why I love these games. Like, there's no script or anything, so like, I could be so, but they're just games that I'll never forget. And you know, maybe something other in like the next however many years will come out that will replace something else on this list. I don't know. That's really it. And you can follow me on all my social media. I'm Aiden Simons. Yeah, I'm Aiden Simons on everything. And check out my blog, vampiresquid.blogspot.com, which I'm going to link you to the link to this video. And see ya.